Yo, what is good? Hope you're having a good start to your week. So in today's video we're playing on the iPhone 12. Going to do a similar test but on Verdansks. I'm playing plunder. We've got smooth gameplay, high graphics versus low graphics, both in high FPS. Like I said in a previous video, it doesn't really matter if you use optimized for the battery or the frame rate. It might on lower end devices. I've not tested that yet, but on the iPhone 12 it makes zero difference to your frame rate. And I can't tell a difference between like the power consumption or things like heat, so I'd say it makes no difference on the 12. It may be different, say, on the XR, so I'll test that in the future. So in these lobbies, these aren't the best quality lobbies, but I can tell you there was no frame drops, but there was a couple of like server stutters. And what I mean by that, you'll see coming up, not just right now, but there's a moment where I kill someone behind me. I go to play up and two guys push me. I was going to die anyway. I was going to get shit on, so it's not me complaining or making up an excuse. I was going to die. But there's a moment where I put my plate on and I go to shoot, and you see it on screen. My shoot button is activated, but then it doesn't shoot. And then I start to jump to the side, and then the shoot button then starts jumping. So there was a good like half a second delay where I've pressed the button, it's not doing anything, and then it starts to react to what I'm doing, and that's what happens. Like, this was a 68 ping lobby, and that's not ideal. And I can't tell if it's skill-based matchmaking doing that, or there's just a lack of players on EU servers. Which could be the case. I know there is skill-based matchmaking. It can't be too aggressive. It's all dependent on the times and your location. But EU is a heavily populated area from many different countries, so it shouldn't struggle to match you with similarly skilled players. Like, but I can't confirm that I'm going on 68 ping lobbies because of skill-based matchmaking, or it's because of there being so little players. I don't think there's so little players because I'm not always playing against the same people if I'm queuing up, and you know, so I can't really give a conclusive one. What I can say is being on a 68 ping lobby just isn't great in general. However, the phone was running brilliant because everything did feel responsive, other than that one time where I went to shoot the guy and nothing happened, and then it shoots like later. Other than that, I can't really say I've any problem. The heat wasn't really too much either. It was very, like, it was warm, but it's not, you know, I played COD Mobile the other day, and COD Mobile makes my phone warm but not hot, and that's expected. Like, your screen's gonna get warm, especially if you've got it on full brightness and you're playing to get, like, it's, you know, warm is normal. Like, hot, making your hands sweat, it's not. And I felt sorry for this dude. He kept landing back in. He's obviously a real player, and I think he must have been by himself, because every time I killed him it was a straight team wipe, so it's like he didn't have teammates. And I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, he didn't seem too aware. But yeah, back to the point. So on a performance side of things, like, everything feels really good on the 12, but I can say this, I'm almost 99% certain that the optimization isn't fully happening properly, and I think that's what is giving an inconsistency in my games, and that's outside of the actual servers that I'm put on. Obviously they'll impact it as well, but I've noticed I've played like a few games. I'll play a couple of games and it feels good, and I'm not saying in succession. I'll play one game here and then one game there, and there's an inconsistency. Like, in some matches it's like my resolution just goes a little bit funny, like it's a little bit blurred, it's harder to see at a distance, and then another match it'll be really clear and everything just like looks really crisp and defined. That could be the server quality causing it, but I think it's just the instability with the shaders and the failing to optimize. I've downloaded about 3 GB, I've streamed 3 GB of data. My COD app has increased by that size. and there has been improvements, but the odd game here and there, it will feel like it's unoptimized. And what makes me say this is, I've said it before in a previous video, but every update before the last two, say if my phone weren't running great, I'd play 3 or 4 games, and if it weren't running great, I'd close my phone, and then upon reopening it, I'd get a yellow bar going across the screen saying compiling shaders, optimizing during gameplay, and then it might feel alright. And then I'd play some more games, and that would happen again. And within about playing, say, 15 to 20 games, that might have happened 3 times. And then within about 2 or 3 days, I would get a finalised one. Those other ones would take about 10 seconds to go across the screen. I'd then get a finalised optimisation, and that one would take about a minute. And the difference with this one is it used to grey out the buttons. Like if the find a match or start the match button is yellow normally when you're on your screen, it would go grey. So you couldn't press anything on the screen, and it obviously warned you not to turn your phone off and like come off this screen sort of thing. And that, once it had done a finalised optimisation, it would always make massive improvements, and it would just feel consistent in all the games, and it's no longer doing that. And I think that's adding to it, as well as the higher ping servers, because when I first started playing this game on launch, I didn't really play Verdansks much. I was always on Rebirth, and when it first launched, I didn't get bots in my lobbies. It was actually crazy. I was always against controller players, and it was like they were really frickin' sweaty lobbies. And I played through the beta on this game, so I know all the bots' names. I know just through movement, but just through names, I've played so much that I know when I'm killing a bot and when I'm not. So my lobbies were always full, but what I'm trying to get at is I was on much lower ping lobbies. I was getting lobbies sometimes at like 15 ms, the highest was like a 21 ms lobbies, and the queue times were like instant. It was just bang bang straight into a match, where now where I'm connecting, I might have to sit there for a minute, maybe 2 sometimes, to actually find a game. And that could be skill-based matchmaking, that could be lack of players, but this happens throughout any given time. So there'll be peak times where more people are playing, etc. But this will happen at all sorts of times. If I'm lucky, I might get a 41 ping lobby. But yeah, these 2 lobbies were 68 ping. They weren't the best, but they were playable, and the phone felt smooth and just consistent in the game, other than that one moment where I die earlier and my shoot button just had a delay. Everything felt pretty decent. So all in all, I think we've had massive improvements, especially on this map, because I think before there was times when I was only getting 50 FPS. Obviously there was updates much previous where I was getting 60 FPS and there was not any issues at all on this map, but there was a few times when I'd recorded and I checked and there was like a 54, there was down in the 50s, and they really didn't feel good at all. And just the graphics, like the resolution and the rendering, there was issues on the 12 as well. So things overall have really improved, and it's great to see. But I just hope we get more players coming back, so I can go back to having lower ping lobbies, because it just makes it so much more enjoyable. Your bullets connect properly. You don't feel like you're dying because of like a poor connection or your button's not responding. So that all of that stuff adds to the quality of life of a game, and it's very important in a first-person shooter. So it'd be good to see just like everyone getting back to playing, and we can get back to an optimum sort of play state. In the second half of the video at 12:08 I believe it is, I'll put the time markers in the comment section. 12:08 is low graphics. That server again was a 68 ping server, but that one was a really poor quality server, and you'll see I would get disconnected towards the end of the match. I managed to play all the match out, and I still get kills and whatnot, but you'll see there's much more, there's server stutter in that match, and it just made it much harder to play. I did actually play a game to this morning, and it was a lower ping lobby. It was about a 40 ping lobby, and the game felt amazing. It really did. I wasn't recording, and it felt so good. And I then came on later this afternoon, and I just played a game of Plunder, and again, that was not a great quality lobby, but it was really smooth other than the connection. And I checked the frames, and it did not drop frames at all. It held 60 FPS. I dropped 18 kills in that game, but it was messing with my aim a little bit, just the server connection, and it was still really enjoyable, so that's not a complaint. But it's just something that I just notice frequently, is just like this inconsistency between the quality of the servers that you're getting put on, and then how well the graphics are streaming, and just the overall feel of that game. But they have made massive improvements, and it's really good to see. So going forward, I hope things just continue to improve as opposed to go backwards. I will upload the game where I get 18 kills. There was some really good players in the lobby, and you'll see the difference between when you're lagging and it looks like you're dropping frames, and when you're just actually dropping frames. Like I said, I don't want to talk for too long. I've been talking for quite a bit, but I just wanted to go over everything and give you a full in-depth, because some people don't play Rebirth, and playing in the training match isn't always like, that's an ideal situation to test something, because you only got 3 other real people connecting to that server. The bots obviously aren't using data, and the more people you have on the server, the bandwidth is shared between those people. So if you're on a poor quality server, you might have the worst connection of everyone in that server if it's further away from you than it is the other players, and that has an impact on the bullet registration, the way that the graphics are streaming, and just all sorts of things. So I'm not going to run on about it, but I think this is a fairer test, because you're actually live in a proper game with a lot of other people, and the fact that it's holding the 60 FPS in both in high graphics and low graphics, I know that with further optimization, more people playing the game, this game's going to fucking feel amazing, and it really is. It really will feel great. When will we get to that point? We're just going to have to be patient. It's just frustrating, because when this game first dropped, there was so many people playing it and so much interest, and I think just with how things have gone, like some of that interest has died down. Some people just can't play it and they're fed up, and you know, I know it will come back. This game, I don't think will just get dropped at all, because they're going to continue to work on it. Microsoft have bought this company, and it was for the sole purpose they wanted to get into the mobile gaming space. Activision themselves is a $68 billion company. They can afford to keep this game up at a loss. It's not like an Apex situation. Like, Microsoft have got crazy money. If they want to keep something up for the longevity of the future, they can do so at like massive losses. And once you've built the game, it's not costing them stupid amounts of money. Obviously the dev teams cost them money, but they scale them down usually, or they'll be doing other projects at the same time and working on other things. And as long as like a stream of players are actually playing, because that's the only thing, if people stop playing on your servers, it impacts everyone, because you just get worse and worse quality, which makes the game not as enjoyable. And anyway, I'm going to stop going on, but yeah, all in all, the last update was really great for the 12, and I can only see it getting better from here. I'd love to see that the optimization thing is worked on in this next update, but I've got a feeling this next update will be a really good one, because we're so close to like almost perfection on this device now, and that's really good to see. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Peace out. Catch you in the next one. And like I say, I'll put the time markers into the comment section if you just want to skip to low graphics. Both held 60 FPS. Both were smooth outside of the quality of the servers. And all in all, it's good to see. Peace out. Much love. Catch you in the next one.
Active. Enemy UAV 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 active.
Enemy down.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Enemy movement. Self-revive here.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Enemy UAV active. All cash has been deposited. Online. Friendly UAV online. Enemy dropping into the AO. UAV online. Friendly airstrike in the AO.